So I just wanted to do a little kind of an update video on the most clicked video of this channel, which is the Teal Swan versus Bentinho Massaro video, which is probably clicked that many times because of those two names are in there. My basic point was from the first video from 2 years ago that I would recommend a bottom-up teacher like Teal Swan only if one is in a lot of pain, and then for the kind of the daily practice and the daily tools, top-down teacher like Bentinho Massaro, just to gain momentum and not be kind of over analyzing oneself or always trying to do shadow work, right? Kind of trying to get above this level of always being in pain or always being being in self-pity or whatever, which, so now after 2 years I have a more, I think, a more nuanced perspective, and which is probably still kind of not the whole story, but I just, since this is the channel, I just felt like doing a little update video. So my new and improved version of kind of trying to value both types of teachers, and using both types of teachings and valuing both types of teachings. I just came to the conclusion that both of their main points or core teachings, where they basically always start from, are basically the same thing. The way I see Teal Swan's basic teaching is emotional presence, meaning there are no emotions who should be suppressed. There are no invalid emotions. All emotions are there for a reason and thereby have absolute reason to exist and absolutely the right to be fully experienced and embraced, right? So then you go like, okay, emotional presence, I feel anger. Between underneath the anger is the pain. I feel all of it. I let it spread in my whole body, and then from this point it mostly already relaxes a little bit, and it also is the first step of the the completion process, which takes you into the childhood memory where this feeling firstly occurred, basically the root of this feeling, the cause of this feeling, and then you can work with this. But it's all already basically 50% of the whole healing process is actually already just having the emotion, like really experiencing the emotion, not suppressing it one bit, letting it pour through the whole body, even beyond the body, just being in this emotion fully, like the full rage of the anger, the full depth of the pain, and also with positive emotions, but like the suppression happens mostly with negative emotions, just to get by, right? You suppress the negative emotion to get by, right? And to not suppress it and just let it be there, that's emotional presence, right? So then what happens for me when I do this is I basically see that I'm not my emotions. The emotions happen kind of in time and space, and I'm the presence watching the emotion, right? Which then, to me, is basically the same thing as like the 2 to 5 seconds or the whole enlightenment I am teachings from Bentinho. The way I see it, I'm just saying how I see it right now. So the way I see it is like, okay, I have always some sort of experience. And then to do Bentinho's I am teachings is basically seeing, like my main pointer that I use for his teachings is, there is no experience without the awareness of the experience. meaning I can't even experience my body or whatever without being aware of it, right? So, or in other words, there's no proof for anything existing outside of my experience of it. Right? So, like experience and the awareness of experience, they come together, right? So that's basically then the same effect as with the emotional presence from Teal Swan. When I'm emotionally present, I kind of see like how the emotions happen, and I'm aware of it. So there's a field of awareness, right? Not in terms of like a time and space bound field of awareness, but just a timeless, spaceless field of awareness in which the emotions run wild, right? And that's the I am practice. Like that's what I see when I do Bentinho's enlightenment teaching. It's like I'm aware, and because I'm aware, I can have experiences. Or in other words, I have experiences, and that proves that I'm aware of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know that I would have experiences. So I am the field of awareness. And in this field of awareness, experiences happen, including my emotions, including physical sensations, and including the feeling that I'm an avatar in space and time, right? Or I'm a player in the matrix or whatever, right? So the effect basically is the same. Emotional presence leads as much to enlightenment as trying to become enlightened by seeing that I'm aware. It's the same outcome, the same effect for me, right? So this way, Teal Swan and Bentinho do the same thing. That's my viewpoint at this moment, and it just sounds different when they speak about it, because Teal Swan says it's totally fine to have emotions. It's totally, have your emotions. They are all valid. And Bentinho says, haha, how can you take on your emotions so seriously, right? So it's basically, one is like an empathetic approach, and one is more like a rising above approach, and then making fun of it, and thereby showing how I'm not the emotions. But it's basically the same thing if you do it right, I think. So this is basically the point of the video, that I struggled for over a decade to reconcile these two type of teachings, and now it seems like they're basically the same thing. And I also want to make an additional point here, which is that, or I'll make a separate video about it. See you.